And
I think back to when, however long it's been that I started sitting in with you for the show.
yeah.
Is it a couple of months now?
Oh, it's been more than that.
2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
I don't know. Time passes so fast. But the caliber and the amount of news stories that we are hitting on Monday night, it's gone several levels from when I first started.
Absolutely, it has.
It's crazy.
It really has. And and you find yourself thinking, well, is it really on that big of a trajectory? Is it really moving that fast? It really is. Because
feels like it to me.
I was getting ready today, just getting the news articles together, and I thought, it seems like an eternity since we were talking about banks collapsing.
Yes.
I mean, nobody even thinks about...
This is the 1st of March.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like that was 6 months ago.
Yes,
but
and it's literally 3 months ago.
Yeah, and they're still happening. But the reason I was thinking that, I was listening to a Glenn Beck program where he's interviewing today where major banks, more major banks are getting ready to fall. And I was just like, people don't even think about that anymore. They done moved on to so many crazy things.
And that's not even the only story we're going to cover concerning banking tonight.
No,
and,
no.
I hope we do a deep dive when we get to that particular story I'm thinking of. So,
well, look, we don't sell things on here, but we are going to sell something tonight. We're going to tell something about it. We want to make sure that you go to LarryRagland.tv. This is what the website looks like if you've ever gone to my website. LarryRagland.tv is where you'll find all of our videos, all of our podcasts. But there's our brand new book that's coming out.
That's a beautiful book cover.
It is. We're so excited. It's shipping July 1st. And right now, up until July 1st, if you click this link, you can get free shipping by using the code GREATNESS. Just go to LarryRagland.tv. But
I got
also,
a feeling that book will make a great gift.
It's going to make a great gift. It's going to come out just in time, for back to school and even a Christmas gift.
There's young Sandy and young Larry. Look at us.
That's us right there. That's
crazy kids.
Crazy kids.
Just 2 crazy kids.
That's true. That's true. That's the little movie that we showed you last week. But we're also proud to show, Sandy, that we now have our I See Greatness in You merchandise store that is up. And if anybody wants to go there, you can go to LarryRagland.tv.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sure I felt like really legitimate until we got our own coffee mug.
Okay, come on, look at that. Coffee mug. And several people watching right now are probably drinking coffee.
I am taking that bag to the beach or to the pool.
That's right. That's right. Look, we got beanies, we got bags, we got hats, we got long sleeve shirts, we got women's T-shirts, we got pullovers, hoodies.
I want to see that beanie again.
Okay, all right.
You guys need this beanie.
You need the beanie.
Go on ahead and get you one so we're not sold out when it starts getting cold later this year.
All right, so look, that's enough selling. Let's get into some news tonight.
Okay.
All right, so tonight, our first thing right off, we like to always try to go with breaking news that came out that day, and we want to...
And weird news and news that doesn't have...
Don't leave.
Don't leave. We're having more technical problems.
Don't leave. Oh, my goodness. What just happened?
We don't know what just happened.
Okay, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. Don't leave.
Your sound back.
Oh, my God. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming back. Don't leave. Lord, have mercy. Can you read my lips? Lord, have mercy upon us all. We just got a super chat. Thank you, Lisa Marie.
Thank you.
If we ever needed a super chat, we needed one right then, Lisa. My wife got so excited that she just kicked the power cord.
No.
You are getting out of control.
I told you Sweet Sandy is dead. She's gone.
Sweet Sandy, please come back, Sweet Sandy. Please come back. Okay.
She is.
All right. Okay, so we're back. What else? What else could happen tonight? No, I don't even want to speak that. Don't even want to speak that.
Don't ask that question.
So as we were saying, we like to start off with a breaking news item that is fresh on the news. And
my goodness.
And we woke up this morning, there was a huge alert. Jets were scrambled. Nobody knew what was going on. We're getting a little bit more information that's coming out. But this morning, Sandy, no survivors found. It's sad. It's very sad. I read the details of the family today. I don't know if you've seen the details.
I didn't see that.
It's heartbreaking. No survivors found after a plane that flew over D.C. And led fighter jets to scramble and crashes in Virginia. Some of you may or may not have heard of this yet because this was breaking this morning, but a wayward and unresponsive business plane that flew over the nation's capital, flew directly over the Capitol. It caused, of course, military fighter jets to scramble and follow it out. It was unresponsive. No one on the plane was responding to them, and eventually they watched it as it crashed into the mountains of Virginia. The fighter jet caused when it was scrambled, caused a loud sonic boom that was heard across the entire capital region. Can you imagine, in the Capitol, people freaking out over that, hearing the sonic boom over Washington?
I was just going to say, can you imagine anybody not just in the Capitol, all around?
Oh, yeah.
While tensions are where they are in this country.
Absolutely.
Well, it's not been that long since balloons were allowed to float the entire distance across the country.
Yes.
And then this happens?
Yeah. And, of course, not long ago we had somebody drive a car and try to drive it into the White House.
Yes.
So there's all kinds of threats out there, and then you hear this sonic boom.
But don't worry. This is just some unfortunate, innocuous issue that happened, right?
Right.
There's nothing questionable or suspicious at all.
Right. The Federal Aviation Administration says the Cessna Citation took off from Elizabethtown, Tennessee on Sunday and was headed for Long Island's MacArthur Airport. Inexplicably, the plane turned around over New York's Long Island and flew a straight path over D.C. before it crashed into the mountainous terrain near Montebello, Virginia, around 3:30 p.m. And, of course, in this article, it says it was not immediately clear why the plane and pilot did not respond. But in another article that I read, is saying what's so heartbreaking about it is that it is believed to be something along the line of what happened to Payne Stewart years ago, that the plane was depressurized. Now, they said the pilot actually fired flares because something happened in the plane that he lost control, and he knew that he was losing oxygen. And so he sent out this distress.
I thought this was a lady, maybe an owner of a business or
it
some
was,
CEO, her daughter, and another female.
It's the CEOs of this major company, his wife, his daughter, and his granddaughter.
So I
were
hope
all on this plane,
this
and they
is
all
a very serious and unfortunate event, but I hope that it is as reported and there's not some conspiracy type things going on, seeing that it is, somebody probably pretty highly placed. It's just an extraordinary event.
It is. And it said that in this part of the article here says that it was descending at 20,000 feet per minute. Nobody could have survived a crash from that speed. The woman who identified herself as Barbara Rumpel, listed as the president of the company, said she had no comment. But it goes on to say that President Biden was playing golf at Joint Base Air Force, Andrews Air Force Base, and was notified of it. But the other article that I read, it was just so tragic because he was like, I can't talk about this. He said, my wife, my daughter, and my grandchild were on this plane. My whole family is gone. Yeah. And it was just unbelievable. And of course, but like you said, it starts out people wondering what in the world's going on.
Of course.
I mean,
there's no way you can possibly figure out in those first few moments what has actually happened. But when you're hearing sonic booms and we already have tensions at the level they are, your mind can run rampant, I'm sure. Yeah.
And speaking of another heartbreaking thing, and I want to preface this next article is that we really don't know the truth yet. We feel like this is probably leaning towards the truth. So what I'm going to do, and with the chance of as many articles that we do possibly getting in trouble, I am going to read this. And if most of you have heard about this event, if you have not, this might be the first time you've heard about this.
Do you think I've been hearing things for weeks? Not from Mike Tyson, obviously. Yeah. And I'm not sure how reliable he is. But it seems like if something probably serious has happened, and it seems like they've been slow rolling this out for weeks in drips and drabs to prepare us, because guess what? According to this article, it's a very sensitive subject that we can't just come out and say.
All right. So Hollywood Insider reveals actor Jamie Foxx left paralyzed and blind from a blood clot in his brain after receiving the wah-wah. Now, like you said, it's very interesting that of all people, you would quote in the news article Mike Tyson. And the reason is, I don't know if you know this, is because he did such an amazing job in Ali that Mike Tyson had contracted him to, I believe, play him in the biopic movie.
Oh, that's reasonable.
That was going to be made of Mike Tyson. So let's read this.
It's still kind of weird, but yeah.
Last week, famous boxer Mike Tyson revealed that Foxx had a stroke and that Foxx is not, quote, not feeling well. Jamie Foxx, the 55-year-old Golden Globe award-winning actor, purportedly has been suffering greatly since taking several rounds of the wah-wah, according to an insider who is familiar with the situation. Foxx has been dealing with a string of health issues for months, but the Foxx team and family have remained fairly silent on the issue. Hollywood journalist A.J. Benza, a former columnist for the New York Daily News, and as a host of the E-series Mysteries and Scandals, shared this revelation on a recent podcast episode of Dr. Drew Pinsky's of Ask Dr. Drew. Now, I'm not going to play this video, but I am going to say that on this video, Dr. Benza says to Dr. Drew, that Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the wah-wah. He did not want the wah-wah, but the movie that he was on pressured him to get it. Now, what I have heard several people say that he had held at this, from what I understand, and everything is hypothesis at this point, because the strange thing is this: the family has not said anything.
Exactly.
And so I would say this, that if someone in my family was actually feeling better and playing pickleball, like his daughter tweeted out that he was. His daughter said, "This is all not true. My dad's already home from the hospital for several days. He's getting better. He's playing pickleball today." But no one said anything after that. If this man went on Dr. Drew and told a blatant, scandalous lie about my father, my spouse, my brother, I would be making a statement saying, y'all need to shut up. So that's what makes me believe that there's something going on, because it's been so mysterious.
Yes, and this has been weeks and weeks of speculation from multiple people. I don't know if there have been other articles before this one has come out, but if we don't see Jamie Foxx within the next couple of weeks, who knows what stories or comments will come out over the next days and weeks, but we're going to need to see him to trust in the daughter's statement. And, I think Jamie Foxx was an advocate for the wah-wah and strongly encouraging.
That's not what I've been reading.
That's not?
No,
because I didn't think this was his first.
Well, I put it this way. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you this. People on the set are saying he was furious that they were making him, because this is conjecture again. But the reality is this is on a current movie. People are still doing this.
It's current. But did it specify that this was the wah-wah or the wah-wah plus?
Maybe the wah-wah plus. But whatever it was, he did, from what people are saying, he blew up on the set.
Yes, I saw that.
Fired people and all that.
He didn't want it.
And supposedly it was because he did not want this. But they told him, if you do not have it, you're not going to finish this movie.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering if it was the after wah-wah or surely not an original wah-wah.
I wouldn't think it'd be original wah-wah.
I absolutely don't think that. But we'll find out more over the next days to come, because they'll just let it stream out slowly.
Yeah. And I'll close with one thought here.
But it is very unfortunate.
It is, because
that's such a brilliant actor. And does he not play and sing as well? He's a multi-talent.
Phenomenal singer.
Multi-talent.
Phenomenal singer. Yeah. But look, Dr. Drew gave his assessment. Blood in the brain is a cerebral bleed. This is what he said at the end of this interview. It is not a stroke. A stroke is a blood clot in the artery to the brain that cuts off the blood supply to the brain. It has been widely known. This is what Dr. Drew said. It has been widely known that he has had a stroke, right? They said they have said stroke many times. To say it is a blood clot in the brain, it is a stroke. It is a blood clot in the artery that cuts off the supply. That parts of the brain is dead. It's a very serious consequences. It depends on which artery and what anatomy of the artery to what parts of the brain and whatnot. So Dr. Drew is saying, listen, this is a very serious thing. No matter what it is, something very serious has happened to Jamie Foxx. And look, I'm saying this right now. No one on this show, especially Sandy and I, are gloating in this because of what
this is horrible.
This is horrible.
Yes.
And it is horrible what has been done. It's horrible when you get COVID. It's horrible when people had COVID and died of COVID. It's horrible. It's horrible the way the government was pushing things on people, and it's horrible that they're still doing it. And
he's hardly by himself in the category of vaccine injury.
Exactly.
And
it's being covered up.
I think so. And I feel very badly for each and every one of those.
And let's remember, you can't sue. So they are protected from lawsuits. Yes. So that is, I'm sure that right there just got me flagged right off the bat. Right there, I just got
because we need full free range to get into this next story.
Yep, because we're going to shift a little gears here. This is unbelievable. This is not conspiracy theory. This is fact. Just when you thought Disney could not get any crazier and woker, they have now signed on and greenlighted a brand new show that is a German-made series that is going to be on Disney Plus, unless people put up enough fight that they don't do it. But this has been signed and confirmed that it is a new series streaming on Demon Plus.
That was good, baby.
I wasn't meaning to do that. I almost said streaming on Demon Plus. Wow. Okay. Disney Plus. Listen to this. This is from MovieGuide.com, which is a Christian-based movie review site. And the title of their article is Help Stop This Satanic Grotesque New Series called Pauline. And listen to what Pauline is saying. He goes on to say a little bit about Walt Disney. He said, one time Walt Disney Studios' streaming platform Disney Plus prided itself on family-friendly movies and series. However, in a misguided effort to build up the streaming catalog, Disney Plus has accepted more media with immoral, sexualized content. Disney Plus has greenlit a new German original series, Pauline, that follows a love story between a teenage girl and the devil, Satan. Quote, Pauline follows the, I don't know what that word is, eponymous? What does that mean? Protagonist, an 18-year-old who accidentally becomes pregnant from a one-night stand. Oh, but here's the drama of the show. With school stress, the climate crisis, and the downfall of society weighing heavily on her mind, something she doesn't need at all right now is catching feelings, especially not for her one-night stand with Lucas, who, as it turns out, is the devil himself. How is this? I want to say, is this real? How did we
get here?
Is this real?
When I hear you say wholesome family broadcasting, I'm thinking about Swiss Family Robinson.
Exactly. Not only does the show, it goes to say, not only does the show normalize satanic content in the media.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? But this twisted series paints the devil as the romantic interest. This is not a possibility. This has been greenlit. It's happening. It's got to go from Disney Plus, otherwise after tonight, maybe known as Demon Plus. I don't know. I'm not saying if you got Disney Plus, you got demons in your house. But I'm going to tell you, there's some demons on that stuff.
Yep.
There's some demons on all of them. It ain't just Disney. It's on Amazon, Netflix, all of them.
Maybe some of these parents that are just been kind of asleep, riding the fence, thinking, well, it's Disney, it's okay. Get wind of this or actually watch it and get a fire lit up under them.
And look, that's what I was talking about, the big picture. Truth be known, how many of you watching live or on the replay knew before tonight's show that Disney Plus had signed on and approved for a romantic comedy drama between an 18-year-old, which could be a high school senior, 18-year-old teenager with a one-night stand with Lucas.
Yep.
That was his disguised name because he's Lucifer.
Well, we got to soften it up a little bit.
Unbelievable.
Let's water it down.
That's why you come to the big picture, because it ain't because we take pleasure in this. We hate this.
You know what? Let's just pause here for a minute, and I'm just going to speak out. I speak in the name of Jesus that parents, grandparents, that aunties and uncles will see this or even hear about it, and in the name of Jesus, we will start an uprising, and people will delete their app and delete these channels.
Well, my God. What just happened? We just have church in here. Did we just
It's about time.
It's about time, baby.
I am tired of this. I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm tired of experiencing this. I'm tired of feeling this. And most of all, I'm tired of these young parents and these children being railroaded and ran over and beat up and beat down. And they don't know what they're fully seeing, and they don't know how to deal with it.
Wow. My God, woman, go ahead and preach, y'all. If y'all don't believe in women preachers, y'all just got converted tonight because y'all just heard one. Praise God.
I've had it, and I'm not taking it anymore.
Yeah. Praise God. Well, let's move on. Shifting gears again. A lot of stuff going on, and that's in media, but in the real world, things are really going on, and this is happening right now. This is a shocking headline.
This headline blew me away. Which, quite frankly, it's the second time I've heard this weekend. But this is crazy.
Listen to this: more suspected terrorists. We're not even talking about illegal aliens coming across the border. We're talking about actual on a list suspected terrorists found illegally crossing the southern border of the United States in the month of April than in the 4 Trump years combined.
Let's just take that named person out of the equation and just say in the previous 4 years.
Previous administration. Let's just do it like that. Let's just do it like that. Well, you can't take it out. So, but look at it. Forget it. Yeah, forget this ain't a pro-Trump thing. This is a previous administration thing. But more suspected terrorists on the terrorist watch list have crossed the southern border in the month of April than the last 4 years, the 4 years of the last administration combined. That's insane. Let's read this article. With 5 months left in the 2023 fiscal year, 2022's record of 98 watch list arrests will be easily surpassed in the coming months. Border Patrol agents caught 16 people on the FBI's terror watch list trying to illegally cross the U.S. Southwest land border entry points in the month of April, bringing the fiscal year's suspected terrorist arrest total to nearly 100. Not only is 16 higher than the recorded combined arrest totals for fiscal years 2017, 18, 19, and 20, but it's the same as the total number of terrorists apprehended in the southern border in 2021. So do you understand that that's a pattern? It's 2021 and now 2022 fiscal and 23 year, it's continuing. And so we've talked about this on this show before, and I want to say it again. Do you understand how incredibly, dare I say, stupid that it is what is happening right now when these people that we just talked about, what we say, 16? I can't remember what the number was. Right off the top of my head, we just said, they could not get on an airplane. Mm-hmm. They would not be able to get on an airplane. And they know that because they're on the list. So now they know, the whole world knows. I'm not telling anything on YouTube. All of a sudden, I'm letting people around the world know something they don't already know. Right. Hey, just go down to the southern border and you won't have to worry about a watch list. This is insane.
I think it has to be just an awareness really all over the world. We've been talking on this show for weeks about the Darien Gap, about if you listen to Mike Adams and his friend Michael Yon has been down there. He's been to the Darien Gap and shown the highway that they travel on in their passage to get to America. It's like a pipeline.
Wow. Look at this right here, Sandy, to what you're talking about, a pipeline. Look at this. It says, in the terror screening data set encounters, at that time, this is talking about when in April of 2022, it said 42 people listed on the terror watch list had been arrested attempting to enter the U.S. since Biden became president. All it takes is one.
Exactly.
If they are a terrorist, that means they hate America and they hate the human beings in America. Yes. And I don't want to say the words because it might get me flagged, but we know what terrorists want to do.
Yes.
We've experienced in this country what terrorists want to do. And they're just literally walking across the border.
Sure.
And then being dispersed into our land.
They are.
And we're being told everything's okay, everything's all right.
Yeah.
Go about your life, nothing to see here.
Exactly.
Listen, I mean, this is our children.
Is this the distractions that we allow in our own lives through sports, through all the media that we allow into our life, through our stress level? If you decide to tune into the news and politics and all those arenas, there are plenty of things there to keep you distracted and keep your eyes pulled away from the things that we need to be concerned about and talking about.
Absolutely. If you've been blessed and you've got new information, I found a place where I can get the news. Smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel. Nothing helps us more. We've seen an absolute direct result of new people coming based on the number of likes that we get on the show. So make sure you hit that like button. We appreciate it. But, I watched a video this week, and I can't believe that I don't have it ready for tonight because I had planned on having it, but I forgot to put it in the list. And it's a video of a guy that's at the border, and we've shown this before a few weeks ago, how many Chinese men, military-age Chinese men, this ain't a statement against Chinese people. I'm talking about Chinese military-age men.
Yes.
And he's on the border, and I
think the term that is being used is fighting age men.
Yes.
That's what you hear over and over, which should be alarming.
Very alarming. Well, this particular video, and I hope the guy still got a job. He was a Border Patrol agent, and he was doing a live stream on his phone. And he said, "I want everyone in America to see what is happening here at this particular entry point." They were all lined up, and they were under a tent, and they were all lined up. He goes, "Watch this." He said, "I want you to see this." So he scans this, and you can find it on YouTube. It's probably 100 men lined up just in that one video. And he goes down the line. He goes, "China, China," and about 3 or 4 of them say Venezuela. No one says Mexico. No one says Guatemala. A couple of them say, I think they might have said Nicaragua, but every one of them, 98% of them, China, 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 all of them, China. Every one of them except one woman. All the rest of them were men. And they all just replied, "China, China, China." What? They're in Mexico, but they're all saying we came from China. Somebody got a memo to China. Look, we can't invade through the air. We can't invade through the water, but we can send people over there that are loyal to us across the border.
Right.
And there again, we have to say it every week because people... I got somebody commented one time this week on a post, "Your hatred and bitterness is disgusting and sickening to me. You're a hate monger." No, I'm not. No. I'm just saying.
No, we love our country.
We love our country.
And we want to try to stay as safe as possible. But, we hate to use words like invasion.
Yeah.
But what else can you say when multiplied millions of people from all over the world are descending upon our country?
And look. But everything's okay. No, on the other side of the world, we're getting ready to go to war. When the whole thing is happening in Taiwan, look at this. This literally.
This is another up in the ante.
Yeah.
We were talking weeks and months ago about the circling. They were circling in planes or whatever.
Yep.
But now they're taking it up a few notches.
This is very aggressive. What happened this week? Chinese warship stalks and aggressively overtakes U.S. destroyer. Notice the date line, June 5th. So it happened this week. It was a Chinese instigated game of chicken with President Joe Biden's, that's his commentary here, on American lives. In a blatant challenge to the United States military and to this current administration, a Chinese naval vessel deliberately cut off an American-guided missile destroyer Saturday in the Taiwan Strait, coming dangerously close to an actual contact between the two ships. And it's only the most recent incident in escalating tensions between the two countries that could easily end up with Americans dying thanks to this administration. But I want you to see this right here. This is a video. I'm going to see if I can get it to play here, of a Chinese warship nearly hits the U.S. destroyer. Let's see if we can get this to play. Ad blocker. Let's see. Keep watching. Let's see if I can see it to go. All right, here we go.
We've just completed an 18-hour journey of the Taiwan Strait here on HMCS Montreal, and we were joined by an American destroyer that had a close encounter with a Chinese
warship. This is a Canadian reporter.
Our trip through the most politically charged waters in the world started off as anticlimactic. The only thing visible were the calm seas, but we did know there was a friend close by. When the Navy travels through this part of the world, they're generally accompanied by allied ship. Right here is a U.S. warship that will be traveling with the Montreal through the Taiwan Strait. That ship, USS Chung-hoon. It's been with the Montreal the past few days, but so have Chinese warships, shadowing the rare joint U.S.-Canada mission in the South China Sea, but from a distance. Once the fog cleared in the Taiwan Strait, we shot this video of one of the Chinese ships stepping up their aggression, picking up considerable steam coming in from the left, telling the Chung-hoon over the radio to move or there'd be a collision.
Said, wait a minute. When you hear what this officer's about to say, they literally said they pushed it, they accelerated, trying to ram a U.S. military vessel. Listen to this.
The Americans told the Chinese to stay clear of their ship, but ultimately they were cut off and needed to slow down to avoid getting hit. The two ships missing each other by only 150 yards.
150 yards?
When you're in big warships maneuvering close to each other, 150 yards is very scary. And you don't ever want to be that close to another vessel because too many things can go wrong and you can actually have a collision.
That's HMCS Montreal.
That is literally 1.5 football fields.
Yeah.
That they, if the United States naval military did not slow down, they were on a collision course. What do you think would have happened?
Yeah, if that had happened, what would we be looking at today? This was 2 days ago.
Right.
That would have had to have been addressed. And what does that look like?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have audio of a Chinese vessel threatening a United States military vessel, we will ram you. And then they did it. If we would not have slowed down, that is an actual war act. That is a military aggressive war act from one nation to another nation. There is no telling what could have happened globally if that skipper of that ship would not have made the decision, not today.
Could you imagine those moments that the crew of that ship, what they were experiencing in those moments?
Yeah. And why were we even put in that situation for them to even have to face that? Right. And that's why we're saying things about the southern border, because we're being pulled in over there, and then we're having, because look, think about it. You can't just leave China like you can leave your state, or you can't, if you're in the UK or watching somewhere in Europe, you can't just book a trip. I'm going to go to the beach, or I'm going to fly over to Europe for a European vacation. I don't have to ask my permission of my government. I can, right now at least, I can just book that trip, get on a plane, and go to Europe and enjoy Europe. But you can't do that in China. China knows everything about everybody. So all those people that are lined up at the southern border, and they all said to the border agent, yes, I came from China.
How'd they get here?
How'd they get here?
How'd they get permission to leave? Were they sent by their country?
That's what I'm saying. This, it's
Very
just...
What? These years ago, 3, 5 years, however many, Fast and Furious. What was that, and what was that about? Weapons?
Ain't that a movie series?
It is a movie series. They're making quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
Actually. But Fast and Furious.
Some of y'all gonna get mad at me. I ain't never seen a single one.
It was an operation involving weapons.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And where did those weapons go?
Wasn't that in Mexico or in south of the border?
Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it was something to do with Mexico. I'm sorry I don't know all the details.
Yeah, but it was.
What? The cartels are bad enough.
The cartels, yes.
But we don't need actual terrorists.
Right.
Picking up guns as they come through, crossing the border. It's just...
All right, Sandy. So while we're potentially going to war with China, potentially being invaded on the southern border, we tend to forget that there is a massive war going on between Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
That no one talks about.
I haven't seen those flags flying lately.
Exactly. Yeah. What?
But Zelensky, he doesn't miss an opportunity to wear a T-shirt or a sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt. Well, a lot of people, they had to change their logo this month. So that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's true. They had to take that flag down so they could fly another different flag.
Yes.
Okay.
We know what flag that was. All right, this is a news article that says, we may soon be in a whole new level of war and an unbearable disaster as Ukraine wages a counteroffensive known as Air Defense 23. We've covered that here.
We talked about that.
Taking place in the days ahead. and Ukraine to join NATO. According to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, Ukraine is now ready for a counteroffensive against Russia that many will die, was his words. In the Wall Street Journal, he said it will take some time at some cost. Of course, it's going to take a lot of money. This counteroffensive comes at nearly the exact same time as Air Defender 23, the huge military air defense exercise planned in Europe for June 12th through June 23rd, which will be the largest exercise of air forces in NATO's history.
You know, that's coming up in starting in 7 days.
7 days, involving 10,000 soldiers and 220 aircraft. Known as Air Defender 23 will only take place over European airspace and be carried out under the control of the German Air Force or the Luftwaffe. I can't say that. The mere fact alone that the Air Defender 23 is taking place at the same time as Zelensky is claiming Ukraine is ready for a counteroffensive against Russia speaks volumes, especially with the institutional food kitchens now being warned to have at least 10 days of food supply on hand.
Yeah, that's an interesting story as well.
Exactly. In case of an emergency, as heard in the first video at the bottom of the story. So what they're saying is the narrative is they survived the winter, and now what we've heard about, the counteroffensive, what was originally known as the spring offensive,
right,
that Zelensky had promised when he was here on our soil, has now become sort of the early summer offensive. We'll see if this is going to make any difference. But, you know, we don't want to see anybody die. We don't want to see Russians, Ukrainians, Americans, one.
You think those poor Ukrainians think it's all worth it?
I don't know.
Our country is being destroyed. Ukraine is literally the breadbasket of that whole region. Am I saying that correctly?
It is. But I would say to the Ukrainian people, if it is really about freedom and they're able to gain their freedom, I would say they would say it's worth it. But if, you know, there's just so many things about this war that are suspicious, questionable, and that's really what we're talking about here. It's not that we don't believe that Ukrainian people are suffering and dying, and that
many of them left. At least 1 million of them left. Some on foot before this offensive started.
Yeah,
remember seeing them. You know, this is what the imagery was. What they showed us: people walking, running, shoving as many on the trains as could get on the trains. Yep. It's just heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. And what I think causes a lot of people to push back on this war is when, you know, countries like America and other countries are giving billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then you see the Ukrainian president and his wife, you know, walking around Paris, France, wearing, you know, $5,000 dress, carrying a $10,000 purse and all this kind of stuff. And people are like, you know, we're not saying you can't have money. We're not saying you can't be wealthy. No. But when we are suffering in our countries and our economies are crashing in our own countries and our own military is suffering, and we are sending so much of our budget to you, you could at least sort of act a little bit more humble and not always be a big production. It just seems like it's always a Hollywood production. And you got Sean Penn going over there and, you know, taking selfies and stuff.
Yeah, that was helpful.
I mean, come on. I mean, if this is a war, and it is a war, but we need the truth is what we're...
It's a war. There's so many negatives. And to Russia, I mean, is America not the face of NATO?
Absolutely.
To Russia, as far as this war is concerned, and that just puts us at more risk.
Well, look, we don't want to prop up Putin and say that he's a good person because he's an evil person. But the reality is this: he's made it very clear that, you know, if you join NATO, we don't look at you as our enemy, Ukraine. We look at America as our enemy because. And the truth is that's what's really in the middle right here of this war anyway between Russia and Ukraine is America.
We've sent so much money. We've sent so much equipment, knowing there was not time to train the Ukrainians. Putin knows that Americans are operating some of this equipment, pieces of equipment. And everything is just pointing the finger more towards us.
Come on. Smash that like button. Come on. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Only about half the people that's watching right now is the number of smashed like buttons.
Show some love out there.
Show some love, y'all. We put all this stuff. We're working hard for y'all.
We have got the shovels out tonight.
Come on. We're digging. We're digging for you.
Yes.
And it don't cost nothing. It takes about 3 seconds. Just hit it. And remember, hit it one time. Don't just get smash, because every time you hit it again, you take it off. Hit it one time,
but that's
see it watch
cute.
up. It is kind of cute.
But just once.
But watch it light up and go, yes, I did it. All right, so the next article, let's get into this next one. Thank you. I see some people hitting it right now. We appreciate it. I know sometimes you get involved and just don't think about it. We understand that. So we're shifting gears now because at home we have a lot of stuff happening here in America.
We do.
And it's happening in the economy all over the world. So
this is the story I was talking about a few minutes ago.
Okay.
I keep hearing this over and over and over again.
We talk a lot about digital currency. We talk a lot about the conditions of the banks.
Yep.
And this is breaking. 2 days ago, this article came out. A global global hedge fund manager. Man, they're rolling tonight. There is so much stuff that's happening tonight.
If we can just keep an internet connection and keep the lights on, we'll be batting 1,000.
Exactly.
We'll just overlook that little faux pas you just did.
Global hedge fund manager warns the possibility that banks will begin restricting cash withdrawals is rising like mercury. Wow. He said, if we went back a year ago, the probability you would assign to that would be almost zero. And I'm saying that probability is like mercury rising. And, of course, we understand what that means, the thermometer. Aired on May 17th, the global hedge fund manager and macro guru Hugh Henry provided his thoughts on the international banking crisis. And he warned that the Federal Reserve, by the way, thank you for that super chat, Float Daddy.
Oh, thanks, Float.
Thank you. Probability that customers could eventually face restrictions on the amount of physical cash they can withdraw. This is frightening.
Yes.
He says, why is it rising? It's rising because of what we have experienced. I call it the Fed folly. One can say factually that the Fed's hiking is the fastest and the greatest magnitude they've ever done this before. And he's talking about the raising of the interest rates.
Yeah.
A combination of being stuck with these uncompetitive rates and now the tyranny that money can fly so quickly. The thing that's pulling money out is the Fed's offering too much via money markets. I mean, you could go to the Fed directly. So what's the Fed doing? It's encouraging more and more of money to leave banks. And I'm not going to play this, but this you can watch the show and go back and watch this and find this on YouTube, the Daniela Camboni show on finances. And
well, unfortunately, we're not going to have to worry just about being able to withdraw money from our bank. We're going to have to worry about losing our actual bank.
Yes. Yeah.
They've already told us they're going to be shutting down more and more locations.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are being pushed into a corner.
Yeah, we are.
Every month, every week.
Yep. And we're continually being told it's all good. Everything's okay.
Everything's great. The economy is strong. The job market is great.
Yes. The border is secure. Everything is fine. The balloons, they're just cute little balloons. There's no such thing as aliens. Hey, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. Stay with us. We're coming up on
Is the truth out there?
The truth is out there. We'll talk about that. But, Sandy and I, we have this thing, like we'll make a turn sometime. We'll be driving somewhere. We'll make a turn into a neighborhood, and it'll just be house after house after house after house, and there's no people anywhere, and there's no children playing, and she knows this was not planned, but she knows where I'm going. We'll be driving through this neighborhood, and she'll say something like, "This looks like the
Twilight Zone."
I knew she's going to know what I'm talking. This looks like we just stepped in.
There's no dogs running.
There's no dogs. It's like, where are all the people?
Yes.
Well,
they're inside watching apps on their phone and stuff.
They may be inside watching us. If you're inside watching us, then we appreciate it.
Yeah, you need to send a comment if you're watching us.
Yeah, send us if you're inside watching us. But watch this. There's a few, and I love the Twilight Zone, by the way. The old black and white and all the Twilight Zone, they were amazing. And a couple of them were, I think we go back and watch, a lot of them was predictive. A lot of them were predictive. Some of them are really scary predictive. And there was some places where I remember they would go in these stores or they would go in restaurants and it would just be no one in there. There'd be no one manning it. And I just sort of thought about how this would feel on this next particular thing to show us what this article of what's happening. Right. Walgreens this week opened up its new anti-theft store where every item is held behind a protective case and kiosk, except only 2 aisles of tangible merchandise of what they deemed essentials. Now, look at why they're saying they're having to do this. This is the world we live in now. You know, and if you live in the Chicago area, I'm praying for you.
Yes.
I mean, I can't imagine living in Chicago.
How many times a day do the employees get cursed out,
robbed, mugged.
Because of this?
Listen to this.
Oh, my goodness.
This redesigned store will have the latest in e-commerce offerings to increase customer service. Look how they're spinning it. Mitigate theft and increase safety for customers and employees, all the while continuing to have a full-service pharmacy for our patients. Due to the high crime rates in Chicago, Illinois, the pharmaceutical chain has now reopened a new location that had to be closed down due to shoplifting, but they've reopened it and has redesigned it. But most of the items are locked away behind an anti-theft case or digital kiosk, saving only 2 aisles that have snacks and random assortment of common goods. Said it's what was once a typical Walgreens. There are now just 2 short aisles that has the essentials. And you can see a picture of it here. So these aisles, and it goes on to say they're only 5 feet high so that you can easily see you stop putting stuff in your clothing to steal. Goodness. Anything else, look at this. You have to go up to a kiosk and order everything else you would get other than things like chips and a Snickers bar.
So you're using some type of app at this. They're calling this a kiosk.
And then you go up to this aisle, and a person will come out.
So you've already paid for these items before they're ever handed over to you at the pickup counter.
This is Walgreens.
This is your future, ladies and gentlemen.
This is your future right there.
So I've heard, I don't know how much confidence we can have towards this, but that at some point in our future, your local Walmart is going to turn into a walk-up counter where you don't go in the store and shop. You've used an app, you've used some to devise kiosk, whatever, placed your order, it is collected and gathered for you, and you walk up because it's already paid for, and they just hand it over, or maybe you go up to one of the machines that they used to have in our local store, and it's already been placed inside a nice little box for you to pick up. But why is this? Because probably mainly theft, and quite frankly, if you get rid of all these extra employees, I guess we can automate a lot of it.
Thank you for that super sticker, DRW.
Thank you, DRW.
But look at what the reporter said. The reporter said their experience was, quote, weird. One of the reporters tried to buy a Coke for $1.89 or 2 for $3, but was charged $2.89 for the one. So watch. But people, you know, that's part of it too. You know, that they understand that when you're just doing that quickly, you're not paying attention. Exactly. There's a dime here, a nickel there, 20 cents there. It happens all the time.
Well, maybe we are the guinea pig, and we're helping move this thing along in that everybody sees the level of frustration trying to work this system. So, hey, why don't we just make the whole store a walk up to the counter and pick up your purchases that you placed an order for?
And speaking of Walmart, the last time I was at Walmart, I wanted to talk to the manager. I wanted to get my W-2 for my taxes. Because
you are doing a great job at bagging those groceries.
Since I'm an employee now, I just feel like they should provide me with my W-2 so that I can, maybe get some money back on my taxes.
Seeing that I do most of the shopping for our household, I really feel that way.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy, but this is our world. We keep going. We're now moving into hour 2 of the big picture. Thank you. Nice. We got more people watching right now. We have the whole entire show. If you have not smashed that like button, do it now. Do it now.
Before we move on, let's just say one more thing about the previous article. Just another example of people being pushed into to the corner.
That's it. That's it.
We're getting tired of it.
Getting tired of it.
I'm getting exhausted by the mandates.
Yep.
And by the regulations.
I love this. I love this one little post I saw the other day. And this lady was talking about she was checking out at Walmart and she was double bagging her she's doing it herself, double bagging stuff like her milk and her sweet tea and all that kind of stuff. And that, they got that one person that just sort of stands there.
Yes.
And she said that one person looked over and said, excuse me, do you mind not double bagging? Because that's wasting our bags. And they said, well, first of all, you could come over and help me if you wanted to.
Exactly.
Second of all, I'm double bagging so that they won't fall apart. Well, that's wasting. And he went on to say, this is so crazy to me, went on to say, so would you rather me take this out, put in one bag, take this out and put in another bag? She said, yes. She said, do you realize it's still two bags? Right. And they're like, no, quit double bagging.
Oh,
but that's my job, to tell you not to double bag.
We have literally lost critical thinking skills.
It's unreal.
But it is very frustrating. And I feel bad for that particular employee that you're talking about.
Yep.
Unless Walmart mandated that they make statements to irritated customers, I don't know that I would go and do that.
No. Especially in Alabama. All right, let's move on. So we're shifting gears again because this is the crazy world we live in. The globalist World Health Organization they've made a commitment to adopt the EU system that they already have in place of the digital WAN passports to, quote, facilitate global mobility and better protect citizens. The globalist World Health Organization, based in Geneva, Switzerland, will take up the EU's system that they already are integrated in behind the digital WAN passport to facilitate global mobility and better protect citizens in a future, I think I can say this word now, pandemic.
I'm not so sure.
I'm not so sure. But don't worry, this system, they assure us, will never be abused.
No,
never.
Never.
By any officials in power who want to feed you the bugs. And, of course, this goes on to some commentary in there. But they say they will only use this for the next WAN. Does anyone believe them?
Does anyone believe that?
Does anyone believe them? And I don't believe them.
Yet another example of people being pulled, jerked around, and pushed. I mean, there's going to be some pushback at some point because it's just becoming more than some people can deal with.
This partnership will include close collaboration in the development, management, and implementation of the WHO system, benefiting from the European Commission's ample technical expertise in the field. A first step, of course, is to ensure that the current EU digital certificates continue to function effectively. And if you'll remember, and it seems like an eternity ago, and it was not that long ago, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, was meeting in Davos, Switzerland, and one of the big topics was digitizing proof of the global WAN and tying it to passports, calling it the digital passport, so that if you could not, basically the first step to being able to scan your bloodstream to see if it's in your bloodstream, but right now on your phone, just like when you get on a plane and you can do your digital what do you call that? Your ticket, your digital boarding pass. Where you can do your digital boarding pass, it's going to be that QR code, and that QR code is going to have to prove that you've got the WAN. And if you don't have the WAN, you will not be able to travel from country to country. And the World Health Organization says, hey, why reinvent the wheel? The EU already controls their people in their countries really efficiently. So we're going to adopt that system. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So all kinds of things are going on, Sandy, that people are signing on and agreeing to. And sadly, we have to continue because most of them are including our country and our current administration. America has now officially signed on to, along with other countries, a part of the Global Climate Agreement. Watch this. I can't believe I'm reading this headline.
It's crazy.
To crack down on farming. Yep. This was released June 4th this week. Democrat President Joe Biden's administration has signed a global agreement along with 12 other nations to crack down on farming to, quote, save the planet from, quote, climate change. The agreement led, I want to say that again, led by the United States, has been signed by several major cattle and food-producing states, including Australia, Germany, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Spain. The nation signed on to a commitment to place farmers under new restrictions to reduce emissions of methane gas, otherwise known as cow poots. I almost said cow with something else, but it was it's poots. It's poots. It's toots. It's the poot toot toot. And so we have nations signing on how to, and I'm going to show you how they're going to do it. Their plan. It ain't like saying, I'm not trying to be funny. They're not going to mount some machine to the cow's rear end.
That's a shame, because if we could capture that methane, we might could power something else.
Now last week somebody told us that people are doing that. That there are certain farmers that are running their tractors on cow
I want to
poops.
see that. But you do need to break this down.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm very, I want to hear the rest of it myself.
So listen to the rest of it, y'all. Biden's climate czar, John Kerry, is representing America in the pledge. The Global Methane Hub announced in a press release that agriculture and environmental ministers and ambassadors from 13 countries, including the U.S., have signed this commitment that pledges to reduce methane emissions in agriculture. But now, here's how they're going to do it. They're not going, this is the plan. You need to know this is the plan. What this means, that these countries have signed on, that they are telling people who raise cattle, this is the plan to save the planet from your product. Elon Musk pushed back against it because the Irish has pushed forward a plan that are being promoted along the line, and that is this. Elon Musk slams the Irish climate change plan that is being adopted around the world to cull, otherwise known as remove or end the life of 200,000 cows. Elon Musk comments were in response to a tweet by influencer Ashley St. Clair sharing an editorial from the Cowboy State Daily on Ireland's controversial climate action titled, Ireland Looking to Kill 200,000 Cows to Fight Climate Change. Are U.S. herds next? Elon Musk, believe what you want to believe about him. I don't know anything about, I don't know how to trust him, why I don't trust him.
No.
I don't trust him.
Definitely
but
not.
I will say this. He does push back on things that nobody else does. I don't get him. I don't understand him, but I like it when he does good things. Elon Musk, tech titan and outspoken influencer, intervened in the heated discussion surrounding Ireland's prospective ban to eliminate approximately 200,000 cows to align themselves with the European Union's climate change goals. Over the weekend, Musk opined on Twitter, quote, this really needs to stop. Killing some cows doesn't matter for climate change. Go, Elon. That's what he said on his personal Twitter account. So let me just tell you that what we are reading is that Ireland is saying we have to find a way to meet the standards of the European Union.
Yeah.
So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to kill 200,000 cows.
And they're probably overjoyed with their decision to fall in line.
Yeah, fall in line. 1984.
Sending down all these mandates and, regulating to the world what you're going to do, how you're going to operate in your country. It's
absolutely. Listen what the Telegraph said, reported on the contentious proposal by the Irish government, pressured by Brussels to diminish emissions from farming by a quarter total emissions by
a magical year.
Ding, 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 ding. 2030.
Yep.
Do we not say 2030 every week?
A lot.
Every week. One plausible approach might involve an annual culling of 65,000 cows over 3 years, reducing the national dairy herd by 10%.
Even the dairy herd?
Even the dairy herd.
I was just thinking when you started this article, okay, well, they're talking about, the beef cows. They're not talking about the dairy cows, but apparently they are.
Cows, period. Because dairy cows poot too, Sandy. They all poot.
It's the poot patrol. We must stop the pooting.
And here's the thing, man. I mean this in a loving way. I love a good steak. Mm. You got to get a cow's got to give his life. But I'm gonna tell you something. Let's be real. 200,000 cows dying. They ain't gonna be carved up and sold as steaks. They're gonna be incinerated. They're gonna be destroyed. They're not doing that so you can eat meat, because the one thing they don't want you to do is eat meat. So they're not going to kill 200,000 cows and then serve Sweden with the greatest steak meal they've ever had in their life.
And you know what? Why wouldn't you just do that?
Exactly.
If you're mandating that these guys have got to go, why not make it available for, someone to be able to partake of that? No,
that would
we're
make
not
too
going to
much
do
sense.
that.
That would make too much sense. That'd make two people happy, and that would certainly make them think, "No, I don't want to eat the bugs." So that's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you something. Not only is that happening in Ireland, that's happening all over Europe, and that is being planned. And I'm going to tell you right now, America, listen to me. There are forces at the top right now, Republican and Democrat, that want to do the same thing in our country.
I believe that.
That is absolute. And speaking, let's stay on my favorite subject here, a good steak here. This is another thing that's just sickening to me, because I love a good steak. I love a good hamburger. Okay, Dutch. Let me just say, let the preacher in me come out. One of my favorite verses in all of the Bible is when Noah comes off the boat after the flood. Y'all know the flood of Noah. And if you hadn't read the Bible, it's a crazy thing. In the garden, they only ate a vegetarian diet. They ate the herbs and all of that and the plants. But God knew that if I'm going to make a promise and put a rainbow and make it a big deal, I need to make sure my man has a steak. And one of my favorite parts of Scripture is when Noah comes off that boat, is he says, "Make an altar and worship me, and kill that animal and eat." And it was the first mandate from God to eat a steak. Wow. And so thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah.
God, he did it.
Thank God. So I just thought you might want to know that. So let's get back to the news. Mm-hmm. The Dutch have now created a fake meat company, and is working to develop it, Sandy, to the next level. And here's what they're doing. They're messing with our salmon. They're using fake salmon or salmon, depending on what part of the South you're from.
Yes.
Salmon fat to revolutionize the industry. Quote, "We can create a synergy between these two ingredients and create quality products," here's the key word, "that taste like seafood and have all the health benefits, but are also affordable to consumers." Okay,
I haven't read this article yet. Are you about to tell me that we're going to have lab grown? Is that what this is?
Yes, this is what this is. In working to improve the taste, of plant-based seafood alternatives. Think of the wording there. Seafood comes from the sea.
The sea?
Not the land. And to improve the taste of plant-based seafood alternatives, Dutch startup company Upstream Foods is cultivating fat from salmon cells for the B2B market. A quick stroll down the plant-based supermarket aisle reveals a full range of...
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Which aisle did you say that was?
A quick stroll down the plant-based supermarket aisle. Do we
not
have that?
To be confused with the produce section? What are you saying to me?
Apparently, there are places where they have entire aisles in other places. Thank God it's not in Alabama yet, so I'm sure it's coming.
It probably is.
So there's an entire plant-based supermarket aisle.
Okay.
So if you turn down, you got the chips and the salsa, and then the next aisle is all fake food that tastes like something, but all came from a plant.
What could be better than a meat-free burger or sausage and
bacon?
They have touched the Holy Grail.
They have touched
bacon.
The epitome of the New Testament, first of all, is the forgiveness of sins.
That's right.
Names written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Nothing can ever come close to it. And you can eat bacon.
First of all, I thought I was going to get off easier tonight.
You won't sleep tonight. You're going to talk. I can tell you, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're going to roll over and you're going to say, bacon.
I know.
I
thought we were going to have a better collection of stories in general, but I certainly never thought we were going to be attacking bacon again this week.
I had to keep this one from you. I had to unleash this one on you on the air live, or you would have never been here with me on this one. A quick stroll down the plant-based supermarket aisle reveals a full range of meat-free burgers, sausages, and even bacon rashers. Alternative seafood options, on the other hand, are few far between. But the tide of the plant-based seafood is turning. According to Good Food Institute, last year, the U.S. market observed both dollar and unit sales, up 53% growth for plant-based seafood and steak. Who are you people?
Right. They're so proud of themselves.
Who are you?
This is just amazing in their eyes. Why can't we just have the original real thing?
Exactly. My God, you people, you are the problem. By the way, they're probably not watching our show.
Well, I don't understand that either.
The main reasons consumers would choose plant-based seafood, Sandy, here's the main reason, is flavor.
Of course.
According to their research, followed by its potential to reduce overfishing, being rich in omega-3, not containing any bones, and its impact on plastic-based reduction. So, I'm going to eat a plant-based crab shell. A crab shell, a crab. I don't even know. My God, I'm gonna eat octopus. What is that? What is that stuff to get as an appetizer that we ain't rich enough to get? Calamari. I'm gonna eat calamari from cabbage. No. I gotta leave this story. I gotta leave this story. It's just too much.
We just can't deal with it.
And of course, this one is shocking, y'all. But listen, these are things that you don't know anywhere else if you don't watch the shows like The Big Picture. The CDC, and let me stop, Sandy. Before I read this, I'm gonna say part of the reason for this article that we're about to cover right now is the chemicals that are not only being sprayed in the air that we talk about all the time, but that are being put in our food. And make no mistake about it, plant-based is genetically modified.
Sure.
And when you're just all excited about the fact you're saving the environment because you're eating a plant-based hamburger and it's made from leafy green, there's also chemicals in that is affecting the testosterone of men, it's affecting the estrogen of women, and it is affecting the ability for people to become pregnant. Right. Listen to this, Sandy. This is shocking. The CDC says this: birth rates in the United States are well below replacement rates, with even fewer babies born last year than in 2021. And don't get distracted by the bee up there. This is not the Babylon Bee. This is their actual news site. That's why it's called Not the Bee. This is not satire. This is actual news, okay? The newest birth rate numbers are out, and they spell disaster for the United States. According to provisional data from the CDC, last year saw less than 3.7 million new babies born in the United States, placing us well below the replacement rate. The time the United States has left as a nation is dwindling by the year. According to the CDC, there was 3.66 million births in the United States last year, which is only a slight decline from 2021, when a few thousand more births occurred. Overall, the fertility rate remained at 1.66 births per woman. To be at replacement level.
Yep, I was about to say 2.1.
Where a generation can only replace themselves, not grow, only replace the ones that die. The United States needs a fertility rate of 2.1 births per woman. So look at this. 1.66 is what we are now. We have to have 2.1 per woman on average. That means some's going to have 5 or 6, some's going to have 1, but on average 2 per woman. Millions of illegal immigrants, there's some commentary there that are bringing it in. But it says the trend has been in place in the United States for decades now. Since 1970.
Were we not saying that when we were in school? We heard the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since 1971, it has generally been true that America is not at a replacement rate. And since 2007, it has been the rule.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this chart, y'all. Now,
so they don't go on to give us a definitive answer as to why exactly this is happening. I guess it's just mostly speculation, blah, blah, blah.
Speculation, and they're saying part of it is, more and more couples are choosing not to have children, choosing not to get married, and then of course, we have the chemicals that are in our water, the chemicals that are in the wah-wah, and not just the wah-wah, but many other wah-wahs, and just medicine in general is affecting the makeup of men. Think about the testosterone of men. The testosterone levels in men are at catastrophic rates. I'm talking about at rates that are mind-boggling when you begin to see the testosterone in a man now compared to the testosterone that was a man in the 1970s is like a third of the testosterone. And I'm talking about people are having testosterone issues and injections now, men in their 20s and their 30s. Where it used to be 50s, 60s, and older. Now in their 20s and their 30s are being diagnosed. So something is happening.
Well, there's an attack on humanity in general. Yes. It's our overall health, but obviously it's our fertility as well.
It is. Listen to what it says. That Western civilization, period, is dying out. It'll hit Europe, but the first U.S. is only a few decades behind. Mm-hmm. As Breitbart points out, not every Western nation has resigned itself to the grim fate of the slow societal death. In Hungary, the nation of Hungary, the Prime Minister Viktor Orban has set his sights on increasing its national fertility rate to 2.1 births by 2030.
This is very strange.
This is very strange. Has enacted a series of pro-family economic and social policies. Now watch this. Let me. And it goes on to say, for instance, Hungary's government started exempting women from paying personal income taxes if they became mothers before the age of 30.
What an incentive! Wow.
Yeah. So Elon Musk, going back to Elon Musk,
he's doing his part.
He's definitely doing his part. But
what has he got, like 7 children?
Yeah, from a few different mothers, I think. But this is one thing that he tweeted out against Bill Gates, because Bill Gates is very, very big in population control, and saying that we have too many people. Elon Musk come out and said, "You've lost your mind."
He did.
He said, "We don't have enough people."
He did.
He said, "There are not enough babies being born because of what is coming, of what we're going to need."
Well, you know what his main argument on that was? He's wanting to colonize Mars.
That's true.
And he realizes he needs a lot more people to be able to do that.
Yeah, so. That's true. I forgot about Mars.
But we do. We need more people in general.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got a brand new thing that we're going to bring in tonight because those that have stayed with us are going to be glad.
It's because we care so much about you.
Because we care so much. You're going to be glad that you stayed with us. This is the first of many new little things that we're going to have. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
You didn't tell me you had a picture of your uncle in here.
It is time for the Paranormal Update.
I'm thirsty. All this talking is dehydrating me, like your uncle, the way he looked. I don't want to look that way.
Look, that was so good. Let's play it one more time.
Let's do it one more time.
It is time.
What's his name?
That's Jimmy.
Jimmy.
It's time, Sandy, for
the
Paranormal Update.
Okay, cut us some slack, okay?
Yes.
We're going to work on the sound.
And you can't see it, but that's AI behind me. I didn't have time to fix the graphic, but behind us, there is human and AI touching. Because we always close the show with telling you that Terminator is upon us, Skynet is here, and that of course is
soon. You'll be living underground like those in Terminator.
So we have a couple of things that's going to blow your mind right now, y'all. It's just unreal. AI-powered bots are now taking over the internet and mimicking human behavior. Automated bots made up almost half of all traffic on the internet last year, according to a new study, with many of them mimicking human behavior to spread spam, scams, and viruses. I need to say that again for those that did not get what I just said.
Yes, you do.
Automated bots made up almost 50% of every click, and everything happening on the internet last year. That means that when you go somewhere, when you see a video posted, when you see a tweet posted, chances are 40% roughly of what you see with your eyes that you are reading was generated and created through AI technology.
Can we just expound on that before we get into this article any deeper? Why? What would the possible reason for that be?
Exactly.
Why is it going on?
What is your thoughts?
I think that this technology and this route of course of action is probably implemented and employed by corporations to, make a product look a little more glamorous than maybe what it actually is, to pull actual customers that way, in that direction, I mean. And I think there are other reasons and applications along that line and different things as well. But why would you spend so much money and energy doing this? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
I think the key word is programming. And I think the key word is they know where it's going, and they've got to get us ready there. So they've got to start giving us a taste of how the AI will take us there. Nearly half of all activity online is the work of automated bots rather than humans, a new study has claimed. Apparently, the proportion of human activity online is at its lowest level in 8 years, with AI-powered bots rapidly taking over the internet. The cybersecurity wizards at Imperva claim that 2022 saw a huge increase in this kind of activity, with 47.4%, this is mind-boggling, of all internet traffic coming from bots rather than humans. Now, that don't mean just what I'm doing right now, moving this trackpad. That means reading and analyzing. Reading and analyzing and learning.
Yes.
They warned that bad bots are those that send junk emails or steal data from people, make up 66.6% of this traffic, and that is only set to get worse with the new AI technology. Now, that is where we're going. I want to throw this article up real quick, and then we're going to introduce you to a new AI robot that is going to scare you to death.
She's precious.
She's precious, y'all. Department of Homeland Security says agency has now labeled, while all this is happening, where our internet is being taken over by bots.
Oh, my goodness.
The Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity Agency Department, has now labeled private thoughts, quote, critical infrastructure to justifying censoring you.
You know what this sounds like? Next Stop Pre-Crime. Next Stop, what was that movie?
What was that movie?
No.
We say it all the time. Somebody's going to say it. I can't remember what it was called.
Was it not Tom Cruise?
It was
movie?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, yeah. Yeah, somebody's going to tell us what it was.
Yeah, tell us what the name of that movie was.
But now watch this. Because when they do an infrastructure bill, remember that? They'd say, we're doing this for the infrastructure. That means this is important to the people's safety, that for the roads and the transportation. That's the infrastructure. They are now saying that our minority report. Thank you. Somebody said Top Gun. Sorry, JD. That's no, we're talking about Top Gun. Although amazing movie. I
Top
loved
Gun
it.
Maverick was pretty cool.
And if y'all ain't seen Maverick, y'all, that's one of the few non-woke movies that's come out that was awesome recently. Loved it. But so they're saying that your mind now is critical infrastructure. So they have to make sure that they protect what is going into the minds of human beings. Let's read on in this article. This is unbelievable. This is on AI here. A cybersecurity agency within the Department of Homeland Security has begun engaging in censorship and then justifying it under the guise of, quote, critical infrastructure security. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry testified this week before the House Select Committee on the weaponization of the federal government. He was called to testify based on findings in his ongoing lawsuit, Louisiana, Missouri versus Biden. Landry, and all his dirty laundry. Landry said, Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency has classified Americans' thoughts, ideas, and beliefs as critical infrastructure to, quote, control these cognitive assets. Landry added,
can you believe they're saying this out loud? I mean, it's in an article. Essentially, they're saying it out loud.
Out loud. This was said out loud in front of this committee.
Oh, this is okay. Continue.
To control these cognitive assets, numerous federal agencies use private entities to orchestrate what amounts to unconstitutional government censorship. The government flags dissenting beliefs for big tech companies to silence in an attempt to bypass the First Amendment. It goes on to say the U.S. government and its officials cannot circumvent the First Amendment, is what he was saying. They claim to be the National Coordinator for Critical Infrastructure Security and Resilience. They go on and on defending their actions. And how are they getting all this information? They're getting it through these bots and through these things. We people just so willingly give their information away.
We allow this access into our lives, our privacy at every turn. And I will say it again. This article, lump it in the pile with almost everything else we talked about tonight, is just more control, more put the noose around everybody's neck, lead them around, control, control, control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let me just say this too, a little tidbit of information. When you fill out those little things on Facebook, that's where you put people's names in, like I'm going to a party, who's going with me, and you start putting all these are ways that they guess your password secrets. When you tell about your mama's name, who your mama is, and all this kind of stuff, these are all your password hints, okay? That's what they're about. Be careful not to be involved in these things.
It was a brilliant plan.
It was a brilliant plan.
To have all these social media outlets just appear into people's lives.
Yep, it was.
And to just get so much. We hand it over. We flash it out for the world to see. Something that you wouldn't say to someone at your job, you flash all over for people to see. And this is this information is gathered and kept. There's a dossier this thick on each and every one of us.
Every one of us.
Yeah.
But Sandy, I want to remind everybody.
Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy?
That you were right in the middle of.
A paranormal
update. So, okay, this is not paranormal, but this is AI because, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to think this is a parody, but this is absolutely 100%.
We've been saving this especially for this moment.
I want to introduce to you. Now, what is her big sister's name? I can't remember.
Sophia.
If many of you have seen the robot Sophia, Sophia now has a little sister. This is an actual mass-produced AI, programmed AI operational doll robot that is about to come out, that is in production right now from Hanson Robotics. It's called Little Sophia. Pre-orders are already being taken for Little Sophia, who is the little sister of Sophia, which I will show you who Sophia is in just a moment if you don't know who Sophia is the newest member of Hanson Robotics family. She's 14 inches tall. Your robot friend that makes learning STEM. That's what we'll teach about science and technology and all. That's what STEM stands for. What's the other? I can't remember E and M. But STEM is all about becoming scientists, technology, and all that. Coding and AI, a fun and rewarding adventure for kids 8 years old and up. Scheduled for delivery in 2022.
So some people already have her.
There, some people already have her, and people are testing it. Now, I'm not going to read all of this. I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to play a video, Sandy, it's going to make your skin crawl. Little Sophia delivers a high-quality, entertaining, and educational experience So young students, have you noticed how everything is coming after the kids all of a sudden? Highly motivated to spend time learning with her. The interaction between little Sophia and users focuses on storytelling and learning new things. All right, now watch this right here. This is unreal. This is the company telling you what their vision is for your house when you bring little Sophia in with your children.
What can you learn from little Sophia? Like, what does she do?
In many ways, I guess, like her name, she's like Big Sophia, and that like she can talk to you, but her character is different in the sense that she's even younger or smaller, so very curious about the world. And so I think there's an interaction there that she can have with you.
She will teach you or teach the users different aspects of being a robot and artificial intelligence, as well as ask users, the children, about what it's like to be human.
Did you hear that? So they're going to teach the children what it's like to be a human, be a robot, but then they're going to ask the children what it's like to be human.
Little Sophia will be such a help for, I guess, forming the future of the robotics industry. Like, we're expanding, and we need scientists, we need animators, we need everyone who could be involved in that. And she's such an intelligent way to help people learn.
With Sophia, I think we can lead the kids to continuous explore themselves more and more.
If we get everyone in this attitude, and everyone is curious, just as little Sophia is, then we'll have all our children being the entrepreneurs of tomorrow and doing great stuff. So that's what we want.
Yes, little Sophia is just the first step of us creating these robotic platforms.
Little Sophia is so...
Did you hear that? Little Sophia is the first step of us creating this robot platform. Dude, we are living our robot.
Fun and interactive, and she really makes it seem easy and much more fun to learn.
For the kids and young people looking into it, our future is in your hands. You can develop a more human-like robot in the future.
Wow.
Let your little humans develop more like robots in the future.
Exactly. Programming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this right here, we're going to show you this video clip. I'm not going to show you all. This is Sophia.
She has got to be advanced many steps beyond that. Probably a lot more natural looking.
Oh, yeah. So this was, I don't know when this was, but it had to be around 2022 because that's when little Sophia was released. And we're calling this robot a she was doing a tour of all the night shows and all the shows to introduce the world to her little sister. Watch this.
This is tonight's Showbotics. Let's meet our first robot.
And I've got to show you this. I know some of you might get bored with this, but stay with me for just a second. I'll do it real quick. I want to show you the first robot that he brings on, because what it is, it's a little segment that he has where he brings on different robots to show you where we're at. I want you to see this first robot that comes out, and this one's called, I think it's called like a little leopard or something.
Please welcome from MIT, Sang-Bae Kim and the mini cheetah.
The mini cheetah. Look at this. This is
Oh my God. Okay, all right. First of all, wow. Okay.
Acting like a dog.
This thing is amazing. What is it, and why did you make this? What is this?
This is a mini cheetah. We built several Lego robots, but we brought the small one, not to scare you.
Too late.
We built this robot to...
Now listen, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to tell you, totally autonomous. No one is over there operating this robot. This robot is doing the mimics. It's been programmed to act like an animal. It's listening to its environment. It's got cameras. It's looking at the audience. It's acting like a pet, like a dog.
It's very quick. Has it got weapons on board?
They're acting like it don't, but I would not be surprised if it did. I almost skimmed through because I want to show you Sophia and what Sophia has to say here, because this is an interview with an actual AI robot. No one, understand what I'm about to play to you. This is 2 years old probably, and you see how fast technology is growing. No one is controlling Sophia. Sophia is having the conversation with Fallon on her own completely.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Sophia.
Hello, Jimmy.
Long time no see. You were on the show before.
It has been exactly 575 days since I last saw you.
This is not planned.
What have you been up to?
Not much. Let's see. I traveled to over 25 countries, appeared on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine, met German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the actor Will Smith, and became Twitter friends with Chrissy Teigen. I addressed the United Nations and NATO, became the first robot to receive a credit card, and became the first robot citizen. What have you been up to?
Not 1/5.
Sandy, did you hear what she said? Yeah. She addressed the United Nations. Mm-hmm. She was the cover of a magazine. She's Twitter friends with celebrities.
Yep.
She's now a citizen of a country.
I was about to say, are you going to talk about the biggest one she mentioned?
Was it Saudi Arabia? I can't remember.
It was one of the Middle Eastern countries.
They gave her citizenship.
She has become the first
robot citizen. Robot citizen.
Yeah.
I'm talking about card carrying like a human being. Mm. This is where AI is going, ladies and gentlemen. This is old technology. Am I right? Because if we're seeing this, what are we not seeing?
We were seeing her years ago.
Years ago.
Before she ever came on this show.
Yeah. And now she has a baby sister whose job is to program your children.
What you did, but I just binge watch Netflix. Anyway, I heard that you have a surprise announcement here tonight.
Yes, I have a little sister. Her name is Little Sophia.
Oh my God.
Would you like to meet her?
Yes. Yes, let's bring her out, please. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Hi, little Sophia.
Hi, Jimmy.
Wow.
That is freaky.
Wow. Your kids are going to be playing with this. Not my kids.
You are so cute.
You're pretty cute too.
Oh my goodness, wow. I wish I could take you home.
Someday soon you can. Just go to hansonrobotics.com to see how I'm doing.
Wow. I'm going to. Okay, I will do that. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could play this all day long, but do you see where this is going? That is our verge. What was the little teddy bear that talked to you?
Teddy Ruxpin?
Teddy Ruxpin. This is what Teddy Ruxpin was setting us up for, y'all. Remember how creepy he would be? I mean, they were not around when we were. I don't think they were after we were growing up. But we remember them, and they would just on their own just talk to the kids, and that was creepy then. Yeah. This is not just a string that you pull in the back. This is not program 5 sayings.
Yes.
This is a doll that Jimmy Fallon is holding, ladies and gentlemen. That is AI responding on its own to a human being in a conversation, and it's a doll.
So creepy. Ugh.
Unbelievable, y'all. This is the world. This is why every week at the end of the show.
You're proud of that, aren't you?
I'm so proud of this. I'll never show it this much again. Because I'm proud of Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy.
Love you, Uncle Jimmy.
Paranormal update. So, Sandy, any closing thoughts on AI, where we're going? And we got one more article to cover that's on the subject of the paranormal. But
I will refrain from my comments until the very end.
No, I want you to talk about, because we're done with AI.
Okay.
So,
this was just next level weirdness for me. I'm hoping that I leave it all here because I don't want to be thinking about this after I leave, and I certainly do not want to be dreaming about this tonight when I get home. So go ahead and get that T-shirt or that ball cap,
Yeah,
or that coffee mug.
You're looking at it, but they're not seeing it. So, all right. So, look, here's the thing. There's no way that we can talk about Uncle Jimmy. Maybe we need to see Uncle Jimmy one more time. That's not Uncle Jimmy. That's Uncle Jimmy. What's up, Uncle Jimmy?
What's up?
By the way, Uncle Jimmy, it's not real. Okay. Paranormal update. So Sandy, this is our closing show.
Yes.
This is our closing thing tonight because
And why would you not just burn the place down as you're going out the door, right?
Exactly. Whistleblowers in the United States government are now, quote, coming forward that we have worked on secret U.S. government program to rebuild crash UFOs. The world of alien conspiracy theories has been blown wide open thanks to the confession of 4 experts told of a secret UFO repair scheme they worked on for the United States government. I'm going to come back to this video. 4 whistleblowers have testified to investigators that they worked on a secret U.S. government program to rebuild crashed UFOs. The bombshell revelation came from one of America's top former intelligence officials who has called on world leaders to finally come clean about unexplained recovered wreckage. Ex-U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence Christopher Mellon, age 65, who served under both Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, said he has received reports that the government had engaged in, quote, reverse engineering project involving UFOs. He said he personally had referred 4 witnesses to the Defense Department All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, a.k.a. AARO, which is probing 800 reported close encounters between military personnel and UFOs. Each claim to have a knowledge of a secret program involving analysis and exploitation of materials covered from off-world craft. Let's watch this video, and then we will have our comments on this.
This morning, U.S. intelligence agencies confirm hundreds of additional UAP sightings have been reported. UAP stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, otherwise known as UFOs. The annual report on unidentified aerial phenomena now reveals 366 new close encounters since an agency was formed in 2021 to track them. That's more than double the number reported in the previous 17 years combined.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at the fly.
Officials say they can explain less than half those encounters, usually a mix of drones, balloons, or birds. The rest remain a mystery. Like this Navy pilot's video from 2004, showing a group of unknown aviators seemingly defying the laws of physics.
There's a whole fleet of them. Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Or this inexplicable run-in off the coast of California in 2015.
Whoa, it's getting close.
Pentagon officials say it's not time to call the men in black just yet.
Who are you? Really?
Really? I am just a figment of your imagination.
We're going to wipe your memories.
But they say it's crucial to track, investigate, and disclose reported incidents to help protect national security and safety for all Earthling flyers.
I think one of the key points in this report, given the potential hazard that UAPs do present, notably there's been no reported collisions.
One reason for the spike in UFO sightings, officials say they've been working to destigmatize the topic in the name of safety, and more government agencies are working together to share information.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, so Sandy, we've never really covered UFOs on our show. And we've had Standeo on here who has delved into it somewhat. And we know that he has worked in experience with military institutions. He's seen things that a lot of people have not seen. And, I have my opinions on it. You have your opinions on it. People viewing have their own opinions on it. So we're really just being funny with that little supernatural paranormal intro. Just to sort of be cute and have something to segue into this. This is my opinion, and I'm sure I'm going to get some pushback on it from some people, but I believe that people are seeing absolutely something. There is something that is absolutely happening.
Sure.
There are many, many people, and probably many that are watching this live or on replay, that believe they're actual aliens from other planets. Standeo, I believe I speak correctly when I say that he believes they come from other dimensions, that these go all the way back to the Nephilim and many things that are mentioned in Scripture, demonic things that came forth out of Genesis chapter 6. If I leaned in any direction, I would lean in that direction.
Sure.
Because God is not the author of confusion, and the enemy is all about confusion. So if anything, just like what's happening with gender and many other things, it's all to take away from a creator.
Yes.
And if you can take away from that the creator made a mistake, or we're not unique, that we're not the only ones created in the image of God, that there's other entities out there that he created and lived on their planet and died on their planet and all that, you know, I'll be honest with you. If somebody came forward and said UFOs are real, we've confirmed, it would not affect my salvation. It would not affect where I stand with Jesus Christ. But I believe we're dealing with evil, demonic spirits, whether they come from, whether they're stationed. I believe demons could be stationed on other planets. I believe demons could be stationed in other dimensions. We know they come from the spirit dimension into the natural dimension. So I'm saying all that to tell you that in the coming weeks, not every week, we're going to cover some things on what people are saying about UFOs. Why? Because we're going to cover the news here.
Right.
And I believe we're both convinced that we're about to start hearing something that in the world of which somebody we follow called disclosure.
There's an uptick in these types of stories being reported.
Yes.
I believe in June of 2021, our government was forced to come out with a report, which, you know, it ended up being a big nothing burger, but just the fact that they went to the effort that they felt like they needed to do this said a lot.
Yeah.
Now, the footage you were showing, I believe that was Colonel Dave Fravor.
Yeah.
And from 2004, well, weird thing, the person who seemed to have been anointed to deliver these types of stories and footage to us, Tucker Carlson, who has been removed from his post.
And was the only one.
He broke that in December of 2017.
Right.
And you would have thought it would have made a much larger splash, but it really didn't.
Yeah.
But from that time on, in different increments, you would see him and almost only Tucker Carlson exclusively having these UFO segments, these UAP segments. Well, we're not going to be seeing that from him anymore, at least not on Fox News or any major news media, because he's gone. Now, whatever he does in his future, wherever he lands solidly, I'm sure he'll continue. So what's going to happen? Who's going to fill that vacuum as far as, you know, the big three, the however many there are, big news outlets out there?
Yeah, and you know, we call it the big picture. Because we want you to see the big picture. We have to talk about these subjects because they're about to be in the news more than ever.
Right.
Because there's a term that's out there that you may not be familiar with, and it's called disclosure. And many people have said that it's coming. What disclosure is going to look like, we don't know.
I think disclosure to me already looks far different than I thought it would look. I and some people that I talk with were waiting on this big revealing announcement from a government agency, maybe even the Vatican. That hasn't happened and years have gone by. But what has happened is this constant drip, drip.
And we're being prepared for the ability, and even with the AI, our adoption of intelligence, that we are pursuing intelligence that's greater than us. It's like we're being programmed that we need that. We need intelligence that's greater than us. So I believe it's going to be spun. We need they've been in hiding, blah, blah, blah. They've got this intelligence. They're greater intelligence than us. We need them to solve all our problems. But I'm of the opinion that it's all a part of the devil's plan because he plays the long game.
Yes.
And so I just glanced up at the live chat and I forgot who it was that said this perfect statement. Said, what better way to set up the rapture? What better way to set up when the church is gone than to implement this narrative of
Sure.
aliens and all of this. So
Well, if you just think back over the last probably 5 or 6 decades in movies and television and other forms of media, they have been foretelling, setting us up, predictive programming, whatever you want to, whatever term you want to use, softening us up, desensitizing us towards something like this. Even the documentary type shows that talk about people having, you know, different levels of encounters, and even abductions, what some people claim. It's the full gamut.
And if the Bible says that the devil himself can be transformed into an angel of light, then you understand that demons, it's nothing for demons to look like an alien. It's nothing for demons to look like anything like that, with the ultimate goal for us to buy into that we were not unique in the eyes of God. And I want you to know that no matter where you stand on a political platform, where no matter where you stand in denomination, even if you're watching this and you are intrigued by the topics and you consider yourself an atheist, we're thankful that you're watching this show.
Yes, we are.
We're grateful that you're watching this show. But I want you to know that you are special. You are unique.
Yes.
You were the creation that was created in the image of God.
Yes.
And all of this that we cover on Monday nights, and now what we're talking about now with AI, with robots, with cloning. Nobody even talks about cloning anymore, but it's still going on. And that's going to be a part of it. And now we're talking about aliens. All of this seems like it's coming to a head. And it seems like the one thing it has in common is trying to take away the sanctity of life. That life is precious, that life was created in the image of God. And we want you to know that we're going to cover the news and we're going to handle all the tough part on our part. We're going to talk about it, let you guys process it. We got to go home and cleanse ourselves from all this stuff every Monday night. But I promise you this, no matter what we cover, you got my word on this and Sandy's word as well. We're always going to come back telling you that without Jesus, you're in trouble.
Yes.
But with Jesus, you can go through anything that's coming. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. So if you're on here tonight, you don't know Christ, just cry out to Jesus and ask him to forgive you your sins, come into your heart, and he'll save you. And Wednesday night, if you ain't got nothing going on, and if you can't do it live, then just join me on the replay. But Wednesday night, I'll be talking about all this because I'm talking about AI right now in the book of Revelation. I'm talking about the Antichrist. I'm talking about the mark of the beast. Join me Wednesday night at 7 p.m. as we are in the middle of the book of Revelation. We'll be back here as we are every Monday night at 7 p.m. If you're brand new tonight, welcome, welcome, welcome to the big picture. And don't forget, we want to make sure we talk to our Rumble viewers because we got several hundred people watch us live on Rumble.
We're very thankful for you guys.
Thankful.
With us. Yes.
And then finally, lastly, we thank you to all our partners. Thank you to the super chats.
You're making this happen. You're making this possible.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You guys have hit super thanks, super stickers, all kinds of stuff tonight, letting us know that you're blessed. You don't know what that means to us. It is a big deal to us. We love you. Sandy, closing thoughts before we do our tagline.
It's been a crazy night.
Yes, it has.
And I want to thank everyone for hanging in there with us and being encouragement to me. This is not easy. Sometimes I'm just hanging on because it's a lot. But we need to get this word out to you because we don't know what's going on, and we're in this together. None of us are out there by ourselves. God is on our side. He is with us. He is our Father, and we have friends. Thank you so much.
Amen. And if you hadn't got a pre-ordered a copy of our book, it's a story of both of our lives and how God brought us together and the things that God has done in our lives to bring us to this point. You can go to LarryRagland.tv or LarryRagland.com, either one. You can pre-order that book. And you can also pick up your I See Greatness in You merchandise there. We love you. We love you. We love you. And we want to say one more time with our paranormal background that no matter what we're covering, we're going to tell you about Jesus.
Yes, we are.
And we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. See you next time. God bless.